They just want you to think that all of a sudden the entire population is steadily turning gay or turning trans, just generation. Probably in about 4 or 5 generations, no one will be straight anymore. Everyone will be either gay or trans or non-conforming or whatever the list of 50 or 60 different options there are.
So that was Marjorie Taylor Greene claiming that, I guess they, whoever they are trying to convince you that everybody's going to be choosing to be gay or trans or whatever. You know what? Based. That's freedom. Real freedom. Personal choice and freedom for how you identify? Yes. Wonderful. Let's do it. Because it is totally a choice, right? I mean, Farron, when did you choose to be a straight cis male?
My wife made me do it. She said, "Look, you've got to do this." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, whatever you say."
Happy wife, happy life.
But no, what I love about her little statement there is how she's actually telling on herself a little bit, because they want to think that this is obviously just an American thing. You know, we in America, these liberals are forcing everybody to be gay. But when she's talking about straight people going extinct, obviously that would have to be global. So clearly it's not something the U.S. is doing. It's obviously just the way that humans are. I mean, hell, maybe we are evolving as a species to be that way. If so, whatever. I mean, who cares, right? If people can be who they want to be, let them be that. And look, it's not necessarily, I think, that there's just more people choosing these things. It's that people no longer have to hide, or at least a lot of them feel like they don't have to hide. Republicans would love to have them hide. But there's now communities that they can be a part of, you know, online, obviously. You know, they're accepted on social media outside of those conservative spheres. They can find support groups. They can talk to people, video chat, and all of these wonderful things. They can watch YouTube videos of people sharing their experiences, and it helps them to come out. So again, I don't know that there's an increase. Maybe there is. I don't, you know, if there is, great. If there's not, whatever. But it's that people no longer feel like they have to hide as much as maybe they did 20, 30, 100 years ago, back where this kind of thing was labeled a mental illness. Let's not forget about that.
Right.
There was a time in American history where literally they would tell you, if you're gay, no, you're mentally ill. You need to be checked out. So people would hide it.
Right.
But they don't have to do that anymore. Republicans want to go back to those days. They would love to stick anyone who says, I have gender dysphoria or I'm non-binary. They would love to say, wonderful, let's take you to the asylum and lock you away forever so we don't ever have to see you. That's what they want. They want to go back to those days. Yeah.
Party of freedom. Party of freedom. But no, when you were saying all that, it just kind of reminded me how, like, this is, I mean, you and I both know Republicans are pretty fear-based. Everything that they talk about generally comes back to one thing. Be afraid. Be afraid. We are the most fearful people on the planet. If you're a conservative, that is, fear basically runs your life. And so it is that she combines a couple of different things there, right? First, there's the they. They're telling us who's they? The same people running the Jewish space laser? I mean, what do you like? Who is they? Right? And it's just this weird nebulous thing. But again, it gets them to be super afraid of whatever, right? Whatever this thing is. And again, they're also afraid of admitting that there are people who are different, that they are actually losing control of the conversation, that they've lost control of this part of society that they believe they have control over, which is, of course, what people do in their own bedrooms, who they love. Again, you want to talk about, who's actually in favor of freedom. It's not conservatives, because they're the ones that always want to control what you do in your own bedroom, who you have sex with, how you have sex, how much you have sex, and having birth control and what you do over your own body. So it's very, very authoritarian,
It is. Excuse me. And it's like, I think it was Brian Tyler Cohen just pointed out on Twitter within the last 24 hours, like, Texas has a law about how many sex toys you can own.
Oh,
There's a
jeez.
limit. You can only have 6, but you could have as many AR-15s as you want. So who's really the intrusive party here? Like,
Exactly.
what I don't even understand the limit on the sex toys. Like, nope, you've got 6. That ought to do you for now. Like, who came up with that legislation? And what was their thinking? Did they open their wife's nightstand and say, "Oh, hell no. Well, I am legislating this."
Sexual anarchy.
For real. And, you gotta, I guess, tamp down on what people are doing in the bedroom, of course, just to make everybody as barren and unfun as they are. That's it always comes back to the bedroom with them. Always.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you remember Ken Cuccinelli trying to ban blowjobs in Virginia? Virginia's for lovers unless you do that.
It's so sick. And a lot of these laws, though, they also, I mean, they come back to what we're talking about. This is about trying to go after the LGBTQ community. That's why the anti-sodomy laws, were all the rage at one point in this country, that they're trying to target those people because they think those are the only ones who really get to go out and have any fun. So,
exactly.
Again, if I can't have it, nobody can. It's all illegal. You stick with your 6 sex toys. Don't make me knock it down to 3. It's all about control and oppression with these laws. That's what it always comes down to.
Yeah, don't make me go and confiscate those. Oh, you'd love to, wouldn't you? But no, like it is funny though that whenever they make this argument, it kind of like makes me think, of the idea that a lot of these people who are very, very vocal about it, maybe they want to be gay. Maybe they actually are. Maybe they actually are gay or trans. They keep saying things like, what? I can't believe people are choosing to be gay and trans. Well, if you think that's the choice that people are making and you're mad at them for it, then maybe you might want to look in on yourself and try to, ask why. Because again, I can tell you, I'm a straight cis male. I didn't choose it. That's just how I am. It's part of who I am. And so, again, this is not a choice. So stop trying to take away other people's choice. You know what I'm saying? And that seems to be all they're interested in doing.
It really is. And they don't understand. Well, I think they do actually understand. They're pretending to not understand. Some of them are. Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't understand anything. She is very confused about all aspects of life. But for the most part, most of these conservatives, they do understand, and they just want to confuse people because confused people, as you pointed out, they're easier to scare. You gotta be afraid, whether it's afraid of transgender individuals, whether it's afraid of Pizza Hut, maybe you're afraid of a corporation talking about their politics. Maybe you're afraid of voter intimidation. Whatever it is, you got to be afraid. You got to have a gun because, you're so scared. And you got to vote for me because I'm the only one that can protect you from all of these evils floating around out there that you also still need to be afraid of. That's the Republican Party in a nutshell. I just wrote their next 500 campaign ads for them there.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.